Eve. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. This channel is dedicated to exploring various topics of the metaphysics, looking at them from a very occult standpoint. Um, I don't know. I've been having like so much difficulty trying to get videos out, especially with being in the matrix, whatever the case is, and trying to, I don't know, just kind of balance a lot of things, trying to do my spiritual work that I do, in addition to just taking care of just basic mundane things. And so here I am. So I'm not as glammed up as I usually am, but it is what it is. But I want to get this video out here because I want people to see my face, and people haven't seen my face in a long time. So just to let people know that I'm here and I'm not extremely well, right? Physically I am, but I would say emotionally it's not the best because my dad passed away recently. I've had a friend that passed away not too long after that. My uncle just passed away. There's a whole lot that's going on. I had my car stolen. Like, it's just really like a lot of things I'm trying to get a handle on. Okay. And so this really pertains to 144,000 and how there's lots of strikes against us to make sure that we are removed from the planet. Okay. I tell people in my videos, I do videos for what you would call the 144,000. These are people that have Rh negative blood. And so Rh negatives, we make up 15% or less of the world's population. If you're black, then you're 4% or less. Okay. So I really just want to talk about people focusing on their moon sign, right? The moon in your sidereal chart represents the mother. It is the emotional aspect of the personality that makes you feel balanced and safe and secure within the matrix, within our physical reality. Okay. Unfortunately, my moon is not placed well. I have my moon in Libra, and also I have Lilith there. So this represents what you would call a split personality, or there's a conflict within the consciousness involving the institution of marriage. So one part of me is very much about the institution of marriage, whereas another part really loathes it. So I really try to work very hard to balance, right, these particular energies in my natal chart. But focus on your moon because your moon will be attacked a lot. And so my moon is always attacked. Like people are always picking me apart physically. What is it? Because it's about beauty. Libra is about beauty, refinement, that type of thing. What else? Fairness. Like there's lots of unfair and injustices that are happening concerning my moon because it's about balance, but there's a lot of imbalance in my life as it pertains to different things like my career and just relationships with family and stuff like that, and different attacks and stuff like that I've been having. What else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I want to talk about my moon phase. And so when you actually do your sidereal chart, if you're over the age of 30, I would look at the phase of the moon when you were born. Like for example, I was born with a balsamic moon. And so the balsamic moon actually represents what is it? Basically the signature of a lot of shamans, okay? A lot of shamans have this moon, or clairvoyance, whatever you want to call it, sages, healers, or what have you. And so there are different phases of the moon. So many people are familiar with the full moon, right? They're like, oh, it's a full moon. People are crazy tonight. So they're like, oh, it's a full moon. So, and that's even indication to show that these pagan sciences like astrology are a part of the root of the American of the human race, because of the fact that subconsciously we know that these celestial bodies have something to do with our personality and things about us and how our physical reality works, right? But anyway, I have a balsamic moon. So the balsamic moon is a very fine slither of the moon. Like you have the full moon, like I said, and then you have crescents. And so it's like the smallest crescent or what have you before you get to the actual new moon. Okay. So, and like I said, oh, my lights went off. Let's see if I can get them back on. No. Okay. Well, it should go back on. I don't really understand why it's not doing that. Oh, here we go. That's so crazy. All right. So anyway, okay. So shamans have this balsamic moon. Like I said, it's a very thin slither of visibility of the moon, and so this is very really spot on in terms of from a more physical, earthly 3D point of view, right? More superficial. My mother, which is the mother, right? My mother, all right, represented in my natal chart, she was not very emotional. She was not very kind, loving. She did for me, but it wasn't like, it was something that was like, oh, hugs and kisses and stuff like that. And so this is important, or explains or connected to the balsamic moon. All right. So I didn't have very much visibility of the moon when I was born. But this, because of this placement, I was able to perfect my, what you would call, psychological, psychic abilities. Okay. So when kids are abused or what have you, they, what is it? They have to do a lot of anticipating, right? So especially when you're abused as early as I was, you don't have full function of your motor abilities, your verbal abilities, and so the child has to check out and live in their mind. Okay, and so it's like, oh, when mommy does this or daddy says this or whoever the caregivers are, you have to be able to anticipate, right? So you can prepare yourself emotionally for what's about to come and the bad things that are about to happen to you. So, the child lives, the child goes from a place of being, right, to a place of thinking, right, being psychological. And so this explains why I have this balsamic moon in my sidereal chart. And like I said, guys, astrology is very important. It represents the root of the human race and the sciences that we had, the pagan sciences that our monotheistic religions have evolved from, right? Like Judaism and Islam and Christianity and so forth. Okay. Like I said, in Christianity, I mean, the Bible is replete with astrology, talking about, there are many different instances, right? If you go to the book of Job, it talks about the Pleiades. If you look at the story of the birth of Jesus, it talks about how the wise men found him according to his star, right? So it's telling you that the stars are wise, or to know the stars or astrology is wise. So, I just want to let you know that people know the full moon makes people act crazy sometimes. And so we know within a deep subconscious way that astrology affects us. So pay attention to your moon, see how it's placed, go into deep meditation, so you can actually avoid spiritual attacks that correspond to your moon, okay, to make you feel safe, secure, and comfortable. All right, guys, I have a meeting. So I will see you in my next video.